Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Judith Patterson. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Texas, and today I'm going to show you how to make a couple of projects from the catalog. I'll be using All Bundled Up. Isn't this an adorable set? It's from the 2022 mini catalog. It's the July to December mini catalog, and of course the thing that drew me to this stamp set are all of the adorable animals. I love the fonts too, but I just think these animals dressed up for winter are so much fun. So since this is my stamp of the week, over on my blog I'll be using the stamp set all week long. So if you want more ideas on ways to use this set, then hop on over there the rest of the week for more ideas. Okay, so here is the mini catalog, and on page 45 you'll see two cards using this set. So I love these both. This is a standard A2 size card, so the front measures 4.25 inches by 5.5 inches. This one is a note card, so it measures 3.5 inches by 5 inches just on the front here. So I'll be making this card and a different version of this little gift card envelope in the video today. I have also made my version of this one. So I'll show that to you at the end and give you a couple of tips and tricks for making this card. But we're not going to actually make that last one in the video. Okay, so let's start with the small note card using this bird stamp. And we're going to use You're the Coolest. So if you have two B blocks, these are perfect on B blocks, but of course you could put them on larger blocks as well. So I'm going to start with this small piece of basic white cardstock. It measures 1.5 inches by 3 inches. And then I'm just going to be using Memento ink to stamp the bird and the sentiment. Okay, so I'm going to be using the light Fresh Freesia to color the bird. And then I'm using dark shaded spruce to color the scarf and little boots. Okay, so I've already cut a piece of Granny Apple Green cardstock. It measures 7 inches this way, 5 inches this way, and then I scored it at 3.5 inches. And then this little piece of cardstock is 3 inches by 3 inches. And this is from the Celebrate Everything Designer Series paper. It's a host set. So when you host a party that reaches $150 or more, you can use your rewards to get this Designer Series paper. It's a huge set of Designer Series paper that will, it coordinates with holidays all through the year, and then of course it has other sheets that you can use for any occasion. It's all double-sided, and it's a fantastic deal. You can also, if you don't want to host a party but you have a big wish list, when you place an order of $150, you can add this to your order with your Stampin' Rewards as well. And as demonstrators, of course, we still get to do that also. Okay, so you can use either the fine tip glue pen or your liquid glue to add glue to the back of your snowflake. And what I like to do is grab my silicone sheet. I'll place this on it upside down. I have a sponge dauber. You can tell I've been using that one for a while. I'm just going to make a little puddle of glue here on my silicone sheet. And then I use my sponge dauber to dab some glue carefully on my snowflake. Okay, so then I'm just going to place my snowflake in the middle of my designer series paper, and then I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals to attach this on top of it. Now this is the last step. I'm looking at the card in the catalog, is just adding your stamped on piece of cardstock, but I wanted to go a step further with mine. I love the iridescent pearl basic jewels, and I think they look really good with these snowflakes. So I'm going to place my bird on here, and then I'm going to go ahead and use those pearls just to add a little extra something. So I'm going to put one down here, and then I'm just going to put two right there. So then there's the front of our card. And I did want to go ahead and show you a really quick way to add a little something extra to the inside. So I have a scrap of the same piece of designer series paper. Just going to flip that over, put some liquid glue on the back, and then I'm going to leave a teeny tiny little bit of a border of this white showing on the edge. I do want it to be straight. So that's maybe a 1/16 of an inch that I'm leaving showing there. It doesn't have to be precise. You can do more or not leave any of that white showing on the edge at all and just make this flush with the edge. And this piece of cardstock is 3 1/4 inches by 4 3/4 inches. So I'm just going to place that right in the center here. And you have a great place to write your message inside the card, ready to go. Okay, so that was the first project. The second project is using these mini pocket envelope dies. So I used this die already to cut out a piece of this Snowflake specialty vellum. This stuff is so pretty and makes every project special. I love it so much. So part of them has this almost holographic, like silver embossed designs on it. There's 2 with snowflakes, and then there's one that's just dots. That's the one that's used on the final card. And then there's also 2 sheets of the snowflake, and the snowflakes are different patterns, but the same patterns come in white also. So it's vellum with white on it. Anyway, they're really pretty. Okay, so the first step is to go ahead and fold all of this on the creases. And just make sure you're getting it straight. I like to turn it upside down to make sure I'm straight here on the back. This vellum too is very thick, so it's really good for projects like this. So I'm just going to fold this over, and then I'm going to fold this over as well. And I like to go ahead and use the tear-in tape on this. The tear-in tape is a little wide, so you can put it on here and just let it overlap, or you could tear off a piece and cut it in half and just use a strip. But I like to go ahead and put the whole thing on. Just get it as close to that edge at the bottom as I can without going over. Just smooth that down. Go ahead and burnish it one more time. Okay, so that's put together. So then I also used this die from the same mini pocket envelope set to cut just a scrap of pool party cardstock. So I have this. I'm going to get another piece of my wonderful snowflakes. And a tip about this, so this paper that these snowflakes are coming out of, it's so pretty. So I recommend hanging on to this. If you hang on to scraps, go ahead and hang on to it for a little bit, because this would be perfect for cutting more snowflakes out of, or other small shapes. Okay, so these are going to be layered on here. And then I have just a scrap of basic white cardstock, and I'm going to use the rabbit from All Bundled Up. So for this one, I'm using a D block. If you're just starting out stamping, I always recommend getting a D block first, and then a C block. Those would be the two that I would recommend getting first. And then just build your supply from there. Of course, it depends on which stamp set you're getting, but I think those are my most commonly used stamps. Okay, so for the bunny, I'm starting with the light fresh freesia, and I'm just going to go over the inside of his ears here just a little bit. Then I'm going to take the light smoky slate, and I'm going to color the bunny with this color, and I'm going over those the places where I already colored with the fresh freesia, just to make it look a little more subtle and not so almost purple. I love the way our Stampin' Up! Blends blend. Okay. So now I'm going to use, I believe I'll use the dark Pool Party for his shirt, and then the dark Fresh Freesia for his scarf. Okay, now I'm just going to cut around him pretty quickly with my paper snips. Okay, and while I have this paper out, I'm going to go ahead and use what's left of my scrap here to stamp Merry Christmas. And this time I'm using the Framed and Festive stamp set. This stamp set is only available to demonstrators right now, but you can purchase it beginning November 1st, and it will be available while supplies last. Now, if you want this stamp set faster than November 1st, you can go ahead and order the starter kit. Remember, it's on sale this month. Well, it's not on sale, but you get extra this month. So for $99. You get the starter kit, and instead of choosing $125 worth of product, you can charge $155 worth of product if you're in the US, and this set is part of what you can add to it. It's one of the best things about being a demonstrator is that you get to get products early and start playing with them before they're released to the public. Okay, so now all of our pieces are ready to go. So I'm going to begin again with my silicone sheet. I'm going to flip that snowflake upside down. I'm not going all the way out on my snowflake to the tips because some of this is going to be hanging over off of my little pocket envelope here. I'll put that right about, oh, I want it over more. So right there is good. And then I'm going to take that liquid glue again. It's funny, I use a lot of Stampin' Dimensionals, but when I use liquid glue, I typically don't use tons. Place it there. Liquid glue again, and I'm only putting it on the bottom portion of the rabbit. I'm not going to go all the way up to the tips of the ears or anything. I'm going to place him here. And then the Merry Christmas, I'm going to use mini Stampin' Dimensionals. See there, I'm getting carried away again with mini Stampin' Dimensionals. Really 3 would have been fine, but I went with 4 because why not? Okay, so there you go. And then your gift card fits right here. Something else that fits great in these, I've mentioned it on videos before, is the chocolate from Aldi. It comes in packages of 5 like this. You can pull one out and then just slip it right here. And yes, I do always have dark chocolate at my desk. There we go. So this is perfect for gift cards or little chocolate. Or you could make a teeny tiny little card to put in there. So these are the 2 from the catalog that we've made. And I did want to go ahead and show you this final card. So this card, the one in the catalog, they used water painters. They come in sets of 3. So they used water painters with the ink from ink pads to paint it. And then the cardstock, instead of using basic white cardstock like I did, they used the shimmery white, or the shimmery white cardstock, which is perfect for watercoloring on, as long as you're not getting too heavy with your water. But it's really good. So this is heat embossed. I used Versamark to stamp it, and then white embossing powder, and then I just used the Versamark again to stamp these snowflakes on the background of this Fresh Freesia card base. This is part of that Snowflake specialty vellum, and it measures 3 3/4 by 5 inches, this background piece. The sequins are from Fancy Everything sequins, and they're just put on here with a little bit of liquid glue. And I used Stampin' Blends to color my critters here. So I used Fresh Freesia, Smoky Slate, Pool Party, Crumb Cake, Basic Black, and Granny Apple Green. I also used the color lifter right here on the raccoon's belly and just kind of under his chin here on the bottom part of his face, just to give him a little bit of contrast. So I hope that those tips help you out. Oh, here's the big tip that I wanted to tell you. So I would put the raccoon on the snowflake, and I did the same thing with the moose. I put the moose on the snowflake, and then I used liquid glue to attach the snowflake, and I used Stampin' Dimensionals to attach the animals the rest of the way to the vellum. Then I flipped the vellum over. I put liquid glue behind where the animals are. I put liquid glue behind where my words are. These are just put on with liquid glue also. And then I put little bitty dots of liquid glue behind just a few of these dots in the corner here, and just a couple over here as well, because that kept the glue hidden. It dries clear, so you're pretty good, but it can look a little messy. So it's just a good way to hide your glue. I hope that helped. I hope that that maybe you learned a little bit of something today, or at least were inspired to create something new. I love starting with cards from the catalog whenever I pull off a new stamp set off my shelf. It just helps get those creative juices flowing and to get myself familiar with the stamp sets. So if you have questions about this card or these projects, or joining Stampin' Up this month while the special is still going, let me put that promotion right up here so you can see it. So if you have any questions about any of that, you can send me an email, leave a comment, message me on Facebook, whatever you prefer to do. And I would be happy to answer any of those questions. I'm also going to leave a link in the description where you can just join my team. You can click that link and sign up online. It is effortless and it is so much fun to sign up for $99. And for that you get this month, so through October 2022, you get $155 worth of products. So you can choose any product in the annual or mini catalogs that's current, up to $155. You also get a retired paper pumpkin kit, and you get free shipping. So it's really a win-win-win. There is no commitment from you. It's just a great deal, and of course I think you'll love being a Stampin' Up demonstrator and getting all of the benefits and perks that come along with that. Okay, I hope that y'all have a wonderful week, and let me know if there's a card from the catalog that you would like to see made, or just have questions about. I appreciate you so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and if you haven't already and would like to see more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much. Happy stamping!